Hello, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Camille. I'm in my 20s living in Las Vegas, and I wanted to do my hair with you guys while I share with you my top 7 tips for how to increase your productivity. All of these I've tried. I feel like I've been using them for so long, and I know that they can definitely affect your life and how you carry on about all the things that you have to do too. So let's just get into it. I did share this when I posted my monthly reset video, which I do think kind of covers a lot of how I stay productive for the whole month and how I make sure that I'm on track toward my yearly goals. But my calendar is so important to me, so that's the first thing I wanted to share. I genuinely put everything in my calendar, and especially when I was still in school, I put in when I was gonna study, when I had work, when I had social things, and that habit never stopped. And actually it started way before college. My mom had us on Google Calendar way before it was popular. We love it. It really kept us organized as a family, and I think that just trickles into how my sisters and I carry about our individual lives now and how organized we try to stay with our schedule. What I also time block are my errands. So if I need to go to do a specific errand, if I have to go to a different side of town, that is all specifically in my calendar. I've also seen people online who even do travel time, drive time to get to and from places. I personally don't. I think that's a little bit too excessive because I don't have large commutes in Vegas, but I do think that's super helpful if you do commute or if that's just something that would help your productivity. But it just allows me to stay on time with things. It allows me to not forget anything. My calendar is truly everything. I also use my calendar to track my monthly goals, which I expand on in my monthly reset video. The calendar is also just a visual representation, obviously, of your schedule. I also keep it open when I'm at work. So on my work computer, I keep my personal calendar open to make sure that I know what's coming up. And then I also remind myself of my monthly goals. So it's always top of mind for me, which again, the visual representation is just so good. And I love that it correlates directly to your phone through the Google account, not your Apple ID. I love that it's Google specific. My second thing that I really did to just help my productivity, especially when it's tasks you don't want to do, is using a timer. Because Kenzie Elizabeth is an influencer that I follow. She is all about productivity and business, and she is so inspirational. And one of the things that she does is she sets a timer. Obviously it's not fun to clean, it's not fun to do chores and things that just obviously take up time, or as you think it takes up time. So her thing was okay, if you have to declutter your closet, set a timer for 30 minutes and just see how much you actually get done in those 30 minutes. And it just makes your whole perception of chores and things that you've been putting off to be just completely debunked, because you're realizing, wait, it actually doesn't take that long. I can actually go for 30 more minutes, after the 30 minutes was over, because now you feel, inspired, and you're wait, this is actually super easy. And so you're basically trying to trick your mind into thinking no, you can actually get a lot done in such a short amount of time. I used to do this with big projects in school, especially if it's something that's not due yet, but you want to get started on it. I would dedicate, okay, let's do 20 minutes. Let's just get the basis of this essay started, and then I can do, next week I'll devote another 30 minutes or just something like that to kind of keep you on track toward things that seem really, really big and hard in the moment, and it's actually just not. Number 3, I stick to my word, okay? And not just with other people, not when you're oh, I'm gonna be there and you are actually showing up. I mean just to myself, and even in the small stuff, okay? Take this morning, for example. I'm going to a dinner at my friend's tonight, and I knew I wanted to make cookies. I couldn't make it Tuesday or Wednesday night because I was busy after work. So I decided to bake this morning, and I said, okay, that's genuinely the only time I have. I put it in my calendar and I actually did it. I think when you consistently plan for things and then you're not doing it and it's just something that you are set to do, you're basically telling yourself that it's okay to procrastinate on every single thing that you're committing to, especially when it's yourself. You're basically saying it's okay to prioritize other people's commitments and obligations and things that you are going out of your way to do for other people, but not for yourself. And that's why the whole monthly goals concept to me is so important because it keeps me on track to remember there are things that I need to do that is in my house. It's like something I need to do that's like going to help me get better at something. Like that is all basically, you know, commitments to yourself. And so you're basically, you know, making your ability to believe in yourself and to pull through just like 100 times better because you're committing to something that you want to do. Number 4 is I try to move my body daily. I'm super big into working out. Recently, it's been a little bit rough because I got sick. I will say, like, that's gonna actually be something that trickles into March for me. I really wanna get better at sitting outside for lunch or walking for 10 minutes during my workday. Sometimes you can get so wrapped up in technology or just your job in general, and then you're not moving your body. I was so good at this at my old job, and I just like allowed myself to kind of like let go of that habit as I was onboarding at my new job. I'm not 90 days into my job yet, but what I think I'm more confident in is my schedule and my ability to get everything done in like a timely manner. So I think now that I'm confident with that, I can kind of build back up my lunch routine, my break routine, and that's kind of a big goal for me for March. So yeah, moving your body, obviously everyone says it, but there's even days where I just go on a 20-minute walk and it still wakes me up. It still makes me feel so rejuvenated, and just like your focus is there, like your brain genuinely wakes up. So find something that you like to do and just like move your body, even if it's for 10 or 20 minutes. It does not have to be lifting weights. I feel like everyone thinks that when I say working out and like moving your body, but it's really not. Like there's so many things that you can do that don't require any equipment or even a gym that can still help your productivity and just making you have better focus. Oh my gosh. Okay, number 5, arguably my favorite one, and I feel like I could expand on this on other social media platforms, so I might do that. But you know how there's different modes on the iPhone, and it's like working out, it's do not disturb, it's focus, it's work, it's limited distractions. I use that and I love it. It's one of my favorite things that Apple came out with because it genuinely makes my life so much better and my focus is so much better in work specifically. I'll start off from like the top of my day. Okay, so overnight I have sleep mode on. I don't let any notifications come through unless it comes from my favorites list, so any of my family members can call me, but I do not feel a vibration for a text or like any social media notifications, nothing. I have it on sleep mode, even if I'm not asleep. So by the time I get upstairs to unwind and wash up for the night, I have that on, and it's just a game changer to just shut the world off, because they should be off by the time you are in bed. Once I wake up, I turn on my personal setting. What this is you can completely customize this. I let all notifications come through except for Gmail and Slack, because that's what my company uses, and I don't want to get any notifications yet because I'm not online. My company is based in Miami, so they are obviously online way earlier than I am, and so I just like really had to be careful on what I let bother me before I'm actually in office. Okay, and then I have my work mode scheduled for the time that I start work every day and end work every day. So now it kind of does the reverse of the personal setting. So I allow notifications to come through for Gmail, Slack, any, you know, platforms that are relevant. And then I mute friends. So like anyone, again, who's not on my favorites list are muted, because I don't want to get notifications that's like not necessary or like super pertinent that I answer. So I mute all of that on my work setting, and then it automatically turns off by the time I'm done with work. You can also do it where your phone's tracking your location, so by the time you get to work it can turn on, but I work from home, so I preferred that it was just like the time of day rather than the location that I was working from. I actually have Do Not Disturb turning on at 6 p.m. every night. Oftentimes I turn that off. Most times I don't need it, but sometimes I just forget about it and it turns on. And again, it's just so nice to kind of just like reset, have better boundaries with even notifications, because that can also just like trigger things in your mind. It won't let you unwind and like reset when you're home and like you don't You should be in a space where you're comfortable to like reset and not have to worry about notifications. Yeah, that's like genuinely one of my favorite things that I've uncovered as like I started to use my iPhone and like actually learn about all the settings that it has, because that truly is like genuinely one of my favorites. The sixth one is my morning routine. So recently, because I was sick and like all the excuses, my morning routine has not been as good, but I do want to get to a place where I'm waking up at 5:45 every morning, even if I don't have a workout planned. And that is just like a good timing for me to wake up, you know, get ready, have time to do hobbies or go on a walk or take care of things around the house. And like that's where I love to not rush. I have a later start time. We start at 9:30, and at first I thought that was going to be really hard for me because that's so different than me going in at 8 a.m. at my old job. But I love it. My mornings are everything to me. And even if you don't have a 9:30 start time, there's still so much time in the morning for you to basically expand your day. You know, the earlier you wake up, the more hours you have in the day. There's just so many things that I've done in my morning routine to just make myself feel more accomplished and just ready for the day, but also productive for the rest of the week. Even if it's like reading a book. Okay, you want to read a book, right? So if you don't have time to read it, you know, at the end of the day, like, are you gonna wake up earlier? Like, there's just like so many things that you can kind of basically like uncover as you develop a morning routine. I have like separate videos on my morning routine specifically, and it's something that does really well on YouTube for some reason. So yeah, my morning routines are everything to me, and I do tons of videos separately on that. Another thing with my morning routine is knowing when to leave every day and sticking to that time frame. So if you're someone who runs late a lot, what I like to do is set timers for when I have to leave, or I always like program in my mind, okay, if I want to leave at 8:55, I'm basically getting in my car by 8:50. That allows for like a little bit of time to pack anything last minute, get into my car, let it warm up, let me just like not be rushing. So the second it hits 8:55, I'm actually leaving the house, not like leaving the house as in like packing my car and then being 5 minutes late and leaving at 9, if that makes sense. And so what I have figured out in past times, especially if I have an earlier day and I have to be somewhere different, I set a reminder and I call it leave in all caps. And it just reminds me, okay, in 10 minutes, I need to like get out of the house. And so let's pack everything up. Let's get, you know, my breakfast packed, ready to go, or let's finish my breakfast, whatever that may be, so that I'm leaving on time. I think being on time is one of those things that just sets you up for success, and it's like such an obvious one. But if you're not someone who is usually on time or who gets easily distracted, that is a hack that I think can really go a long way, and it's so easy. It's literally just your reminders app. The last one is brain dumps. I did this in college, especially when I was trying to figure out like all the things about like moving, and you know, obviously moving is like a completely different beast, but what I like really figured out was, you know, there's so many things on my mind that I want to do or that I feel just like bogged down from, and you don't realize that it's actually taking up so much of your brain capacity. So what I enjoy doing is doing brain dumps and also making a to-do list for the weekend. I will also like brain dump ideas that I have for the future and things that I don't want to forget. And it's such a little thing, and I know probably everyone already does that, but I think there's a lot of power in kind of like letting yourself just like release anything that's on your mind. So if you're really caught up in something, if you're stressed, like just like starting a notes app and like literally writing down all the things that you're stressed out about, even if it's not things that are related to each other. It could be completely personal, it could be work, anything, and just taking those thoughts and putting it somewhere else is so helpful for me. What that also allows me to do is be like, okay, why is that stressing me out? I literally can take care of that right now in 5 minutes. There's just, again, like you're reprogramming your mind to not only keep it here, but think, okay, if you write it on paper, if you set a timer, if you do X, Y, and Z, like the more you plan, the more you can be set up for success and not be so stressed and like just so chaotic. And I think we can spend a lot of our lives doing that. We can spend so much time, you know, in your thoughts and thinking that you don't have any time to do anything, and I think that's like always the statement, like, oh, I'd like never have time for that and I don't do it. You do have time, you're just like thinking it's this beast and you're not putting it down on paper and you're not making it actionable steps. So I do think that will really help and go such a long way if you start doing that, if you're not doing it already. I'm gonna go head out for the day. By the way, I love this thing, it's so good. Not like my hair was like that crazy, but it just makes it look more revived. It looks like I tried today, and it literally took me probably 10-15 minutes. So thanks for watching, and I hope this is super helpful. Feel free to follow along, and I'll link all the past videos below on how I explain routines and certain things that I plan out, and I hope that helps. Please like and subscribe and follow me on my other platforms, and I will see you guys in the next video.